Morikawa was a beast today. Jesus. Wow.
And ball marker. Our beautiful, genuine leather belts are made in the USA. No more rip pockets or searching your bag for your divot repair tool or ball marker. The Kenrick Golf Belt can't improve your swing, but it can improve your style. Raise your game today.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Golf Dudes podcast live. I'm Joe Calabro, co-founder of GolfNewsRI. That is Rich Capali. Rich, how you doing today, buddy boy? Good to see you for the first time in 2 hours.
Yeah, man. I was telling you when you were at the house, this is one of my first actual full days off in a while. It's a little steamy out to play around today, so I stayed in the AC, did a little errands, and watched a little golf today for the first time in a while.
There you go. I'm glad we really catch some golf together today. We'll get into some PGA Tour stuff later on in the show. Again, as usual, don't mind me. I'm just trying to do social media stuff, and I'm failing at it epically. So I'll get back to it in a second. I'm having a tough time multitasking. But yeah, it was another great week for Golf News RI. We have a lot of content this week. Not a ton of PGA Tour content, but just because we had so much local content, we have a whole bunch of things to get to. Like I said, we are going to get to the PGA Tour stuff in a while. I know Rich has a bunch of thoughts. Our boy Tiger Woods committed to the Memorial today. That happened early-ish this morning, and I flagged it right away and got that right up. But most of my day was spent while Rich was relaxing and enjoying his day off. Most of my day was spent at the beautiful Alpine Country Club over in Cranston, covering the Junior Amateur Championships, both the boys and the girls. And it's pretty depressing when you can watch like a 13-year-old hit the ball further than you can. It's pretty eye-opening.
True that.
But that's pretty much what I watched today. For those that haven't seen our articles up yet on the site, John Baldwin took down Moses Brown star Harry Dessel in the boys Junior Amateur Championship today. He won that match 4-3. I watched a bunch of their match. Obviously, it was close to begin with, and then Baldwin managed to pull away kind of on the back nine. And then in the girls' match, which started a little bit later than the boys' match, but ended earlier, believe it or not. Gianna Papa, she beat Ava Santamaria 8-6 to win the girls' Junior Amateur Championship. Now, for those that didn't follow last year, Gianna Papa beat her sister in last year's Junior Amateur Championship, and so she repeated the victory this year and another dominating performance for her. It was close to start out with the first couple holes where I think she just won up. I'm trying to remember what I wrote, but she was just one up, and then she kind of blitzed Santa Maria in the last few holes and total domination. And she's 13, so and she hits the ball pretty good. She closed the match out on 15. I believe 15 is the par 3, and she stuck it to like 2 feet and had a tap in birdie to close the match out. Rich, it's an easy game. I don't know what we're doing wrong. I don't know why we can't pick this up. It's pretty easy. I just watched it for 3 hours.
What a way to lose it! It's insane. What a way to lose it! Stuck it to like 2-3 feet. Unbelievable.
Yeah, so that happened all this week at Alpine. It was a great tournament. Lots of ups and downs. We had every round covered on Golf News RI. So if you missed any of the coverage, tune in there. Just check out the site, check out the articles, and then go from there. I'm still trying to figure this freaking social media out. Tina Signori, thank you for watching. Caitlin Allen, thank you for watching. Hold on.
You may as well say it now, Mom. Thank you for watching.
I don't know if she's watching it. It doesn't say she was watching. We love interacting with our, social
anyways,
media, with our social media crowd.
While you're social mediaing it, but could you absolutely imagine, like, if you actually got into the game at, like, I don't know. I mean, these kids are probably like what, 8, 9, 10 years old, and just being an absolute freaking stud at like 12, 13, 14 years old, and just wrecking every opponent in the face. Like, that's just mind-boggling to me. I'm sorry.
That's what we should have done. Well, like I said a few weeks
Right?
ago, like
Hindsight is
like I
2020,
said,
I guess, right?
like I said a few weeks ago, these kids grow up playing and really playing and really working at it, and that's just not for me. When I was a kid, I'm a huge hockey fan, as you know, and you're a big hockey fan too. And I always wanted to be a hockey player. I wanted to be a basketball player. I mean, to be honest, I never really desired to be a baseball player, so that was never really a question. But I always wanted to be a hockey player, or maybe a basketball player. And I played hockey when I was a kid.
Golf really didn't become an obsession for me till what? I don't know, maybe like 8 to 10 years ago. Like, it really wasn't an obsession like it is now. It's just crazy how obsessed I am with the actual sport, even though I'm not that very good at it.
No, you're not very good at it. So, but yeah, that's what it is. It's no problem. Anytime I can compliment you, I feel lucky. But that's what it is. That's what these kids do. And you watch these kids play. And I know you saw. We posted a ton of videos today. I know you saw a bunch of them and shared a bunch of them to your page. So if people aren't following the GolfNewsRI page, they can jump over to your page as well. These kids' swings are just silky smooth, and they just up and down, and that's all it is.
The ball contact is incredible for a youngster. It's mind-boggling. It really is.
I mean, and from being there, watching them on the first tee. Now, the first Alpine is like I don't know, it's close to 400 yards, something like that. And it's slightly
taking iron off the tee, right?
Slightly dog leg left, but not really. I mean, it's driver off. I hit driver off of it the time that I played. And these kids, at least for the guys, I missed the girls' opening tee shot. I did see the guys. The guys, both of them, Dessel and Baldwin, hit irons off the tee, and they were still out there.
They hit like 4 irons. It's nuts.
And they were still out there, and they still were on it too easily and had birdie putts. I believe they both missed them. They have that hole. But either way,
it's a different game with that kind of accuracy. You know what I mean?
And that's just kind of what it is.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, you work at it, and that's kind of what it takes. Hopefully, hopefully they keep going. I know Dessel's a big star. Moses Brown, Baldwin is a great player in his own right. So we'll see where they go from there. It'll be fun to watch them play. Assuming they play in college, they're kind of on that track. So there's that. So that was big today. We had that covered all week, and I went there to cover that today. Next up for local tournaments is the Rhode Island Amateur. That starts on Monday, bright and early. And I'm not sure I'm going to be there bright and early, but I'm going to try to be there every single day of the week. We'll do all kinds of videos, coverage, and all kinds of stuff all next week leading up to our amateur and our amateur final. That should be a great tournament. Monday, Tuesday is the medal play. Then they start the matches on Wednesday. I think they do 36 holes a day, 2 matches a day. They don't waste any time. So we're excited for that. We'll have some live coverage, live Facebook lives and things like that. So that's gearing up to next week. I'm gonna try to have a big preview of it. I'm gonna try to run that for Sunday, maybe Saturday. It depends on how the next couple of days go. So we're excited for that. We're excited to cover that. It's a big deal. Other news this week, Metacomet. We talked about them a couple weeks ago, whatever that was. Metacomet is still alive, it appears. They are still looking. East Providence residents earlier this week, there was a petition, on change.org Local residents, people that live in that area, are trying to get the East Providence City Council to basically deny Marshall Development's ability to build commercially. One of the ideas that Marshall had was to build like a mall and like a shopping center, and all kinds of different things. And now the East Providence residents are trying to fight back a little bit and essentially try to save the golf course in some way, shape, or form. I know one of the suggestions, watching, because it was live streamed, the East Providence City Council meeting on Tuesday. If I'm wrong, correct me. I think it was Tuesday night. One of the residents had a great line. I think her name was Candy Seal, and she said if you want Garden City, then go to Cranston. And they're really trying to fight this commercial development thing. And I just thought it was a great line. So I don't mean to signal her out. And so now East Providence City Council, nothing really happened on Tuesday. I didn't write on the meeting on Tuesday. There was really nothing, not a ton came out of it, really. The East Providence City Council, they want to hold public hearings in August in a bigger venue so more people can go. And so we'll have to wait to see what happens there. I know I've talked to Pat Ford about it. And I know we are seeing what kind of coverage we can team up to provide if and when those hearings happen, but we'll worry about that later. But Rich, I know you had a quick thought. You were vocal about Metacomment a few weeks ago. It looks like at least the East Providence residents are trying to team up and at least save the course in some way, shape, or form. And by the way, I left this out. One suggestion was making it a 9-hole course and sort of building like a Lewis Quizit type of thing around it. So I don't know if you had any thoughts on that. Some kind of new developments kind of came out of nowhere, to be honest with you, to me. So if you had any thoughts, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that I expressed to you, my dad, my brother-in-law, and all that shit. I thought that Metacomet was one of the toughest courses I've ever played. Everything's uphill. The fairways are very narrow. Fairways are tough to hit off the tee. I think it's a great course. If anything, I kind of hope that they I do not want them to put what's it called? Condos. I do not want them to put a strip mall or anything like that, Garden City type thing. If they can maybe leave 9 holes, and I'd prefer them to leave the highway hole, the water holes, the front 9.
Yep.
I prefer the front 9 is fantastic. If they could leave the front 9 and maybe turn the back 9 into like a what's it called? Like maybe like a residential park or something like that, or like put a track there so people can run and walk, and maybe a playground or something for the kids. If they bulldoze that course, the whole course, and put it to commercial use, it's a sin. That property is fantastic. That is prime property. Like I said, if they can keep the front 9, which is like almost kind of on the water, and then maybe use the back 9 as like maybe like a residential park or something like that, that would be ideal. It would be an absolute sin if they bulldozed it for commercial use.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see what continues to develop from that. Obviously, it seemed like a few months ago, or less than that, whatever it's been. It seemed like Metacomet was kind of done for. It seemed like the whole thing was over. But now, credit to the East Providence residents, the people that live kind of in that area, in that neighborhood, if you will. They're sort of
they know what that land's worth.
Right. And, yeah, they know what the land's worth, and they know what kind of neighborhood it is, and they feel like a shopping center or a mall or a major hotel would totally clog up that street, or totally clog up that neighborhood where probably kids ride their bikes and kids play basketball in the street. I'm not sure. Whatever it is, all those things could be true. So credit to them for fighting back a little bit and we'll see what comes out of it. Again, hearings public hearings are supposed to be set for August. I have not seen any update as far as the actual dates yet. But when that happens, we will get that out to you on GolfNewsRI, whether it's on our site, on the show, or a combination of both. When and if we hear those things, I know both Rich and I will keep an eye on that. The other news of the week, the situation with Brown Athletics continues to go, and I don't want to get too much into the political stuff. Pat Ford earlier this week, if you missed it, you can find the interview on the Coalition Radio Facebook page. You can also find the interview on our website until we ran it the next day. Pat Ford had Lynette Labinger, who is the ACLU attorney who originally was involved in the 1992 Title IX case against Brown University,
the original case,
and now she was back, and she's now kind of back involved in it again, and maybe a lesser role, but she's still involved in it. Pat Ford had her on earlier this week, and it was a really fascinating interview. You haven't had a chance to read it, listen to it. It's long, but she just talked about kind of where they stand now. Basically, she said that Brown was all set with cutting those sports until they reinstalled track, field, and cross country, because that basically made the numbers uneven. So I thought that was interesting. And then she also she actually kind of broke news, which we posted separately. I edited the video quick and posted it separately that the next afternoon or whatever it was. That she said that Brown promised to make women's sailing a varsity sport, to make it back even. Women's sailing at Brown has been a club sport for I don't have an exact date, but for a long time. It's been a club sport for a while, if not ever. And so they offered to bring that back, but that has not happened yet. And right now the ACLU and Brown are in litigation. There's been no update as far as I've seen with the case involving Tom Brady's Deflategate lawyer, Jeffrey Kessler. There's been no update on that yet. Again, as far as I have seen, I've been trying to check every day, whether it's the Brown website or PR Newswire or whatever it is. So the Brown case continues to go. And also, I mean, not that it affects golf, but yesterday they announced that, or the Ivy League announced that there would be no fall sports. And so no Brown football. And others, I expect other conferences to follow suit, in my opinion. So that's unfortunate. I feel bad for the Brown football team, and those other Ivy League schools who are going to miss out on a fall season. Rich, do you have any thoughts on that whole Brown situation? I know it's pretty legal, and I tried to get into the legal stuff, but that's about as legal as we get.
Yeah, no, I don't really have a much to say on that. I mean, that's your you've been keeping up with Pat and everything like that. But on the fall sports season, yeah, the Ivy League was the first to cancel their basketball tournaments in the spring. So, early spring, and I just don't see. I think everybody's going to follow suit. There's just no way. There's no way they're going to have fall sports. It's just not going to happen. The programs and the leagues do not have the money to test like the professionals do. I mean, hell, even like the MLS, they don't have enough money to test like the NHL, NBA, MLB do. So it's gonna be interesting. I feel like we're gonna have a few more leagues this week cancel their fall sports. A bunch of what's it called? Schools already can't. I think was it Harvard? I think it might have been Harvard that already said that they're not going to return to school till at least fall of 2021. Or maybe it wasn't Harvard. It was one of the Ivy League schools that said that. But yeah, so this is just, especially with the outbreak that's going on. I just don't see how a college environment is going to work out in the next. I don't even know, 6 months to almost a year. I mean, I just don't see it.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Also, the Big Ten said that they were just going to play conference play this year if they play at all.
Yeah.
So that was another thing as well. I also looked very closely and to try to maybe relate it to Brown. I also looked closely at the news story. I believe that ESPN might have even broke. Stanford University, they also cut 11 sports programs, but they did not cut golf because I think Tiger Woods and Nota Begay would have pulled their funding if they cut golf. So, but they did cut Stanford cut 11 sports as well. And really, what I was actually trying to get to, which I forgot his name at the beginning, but what I was trying to get to with the Ivy League and Brown canceling their football season was I feel bad for James Perry, the head coach of Brown, who 2 years ago was the coach of Bryant, and he left Bryant to go back to Brown. I feel bad for him. From my previous job, I had a great relationship with him. He always picked up the phone, or he always called me back every time I needed to talk to him during Brown football season. So I do feel bad for him. So I just wanted to mention that real quick. Other quick news and notes, and if Richie, if you had anything on any of these, just go for it. In the lifestyle category, I know people are desperate for live music. The Senders, the legendary Rhode Island band, are returning to Harbor Lights on Saturday night, 7 p.m. I believe you do not need a reservation. That's different than their previous concerts, I believe. You do not need a reservation for Saturday night. They will go on at 7 p.m. and they will. I think the place opens. Doesn't open, but they open for seating at the concert, I believe, at 5 p.m. So if you need a Saturday night event, 7 p.m. the Senders at Harbor Lights, and credit to Harbor Lights as they keep on going with their live music. As I've been hashtagging, stop the streams, and hopefully more of these places can figure it out how to do live music. I know King's Crossing had a concert before. I don't know is the King doing any other entertainment that you know of?
I haven't gotten any emails. I know they do. They like to do live at the King with their, small. We don't have a huge clubhouse or an enormous outside area, so they keep it to small bands. I haven't gotten a live at the King email. It's usually on Friday night, so I'm gonna check my email now. But yeah, no. If any of you guys haven't been to the King, it's affordable golf. Great little area that they got set up due to the restrictions nowadays. And they usually have some good bands over there. Yeah, no, I don't know if they're doing anything this week. I'll definitely find out though.
All right, no worries. Feel free and just forward that along. We'll put it up on GolfNewsRI, or you can put it up whatever the case. But Senders at Harbor Lights on Saturday night at 7 p.m. Other news and notes that we had up this week, the Rhode Island Golf Association has canceled the 89th RI Open, which was scheduled, and they have canceled that due to COVID-19 concerns. But there is a Providence Open, and the Providence Open is actually underway. It started today over at Triggs Memorial, and so we'll have an update on that for tomorrow. But 89th RI Open is canceled, but the Providence Open, which features stars, big-time golfers like Charlie Blanchard, who coaches Bryant, Davis Chatfield's in the field, is playing, and a handful of other big-time both golfers in Rhode Island and in New England. They're all playing the next 2 days over at Triggs, so feel free to check that out, and we'll have a leaderboard update tomorrow. So be sure to check that out as well. And last but not least, in this, we can kind of use this to segue into our PGA Tour coverage. There is no British Open for the men, but earlier this week, and again, the days escape me, but whatever day it was, there will be a British Open, a women's British Open, coming in August, and there will also be a Scottish Open.
I'm excited for that.
Coming in August. So there'll be no fans in attendance, obviously, but there will be a British Open. It's funny how they pull off a women's British Open, but they can't pull off a men's British Open. So it's kind of interesting. But I mean, I guess if you're being fair, the LPGA has literally had nothing so far this season. I'm not even sure that season
I don't think they start yet. They don't start till not till the 31st.
Yeah, so they have literally had nothing. So I guess they can get the British Open. It's funny how they the RNA over and overseas kind of finagle that one around. But hey, we're still good here. We have the three majors. So that's kind of the news and notes that I have just to touch on. Again, the Junior Amateur Championship this week. John Baldwin beat Harry Dessel, and Gianna Papa won her second straight Junior Amateur Championship. That was today at Alpine Country Club. If you want to see any of the videos, they're all on the GolfNewsRI Facebook page, and also we have articles up. Our articles are up just immediately after the rounds ended, so you don't have to wait 5 hours to read the article like you do on some of the websites, or the next day like in a newspaper. So those recaps are up. Check those out. Check out the videos. Check out the swings. It's like nothing. So we have all that covered for you. RI Amateur next week. We're excited for that. And we'll have all kinds of content leading up to it and during the RI Amateur. So that's all I have locally, unless something else crazy happened that I missed in the last half an hour, but I don't think that's the case. So we'll use the last 15 minutes or so to touch on some PGA Tour stuff. I know there's been a lot going on. This morning we didn't break, but we put up Tiger Woods committed to the Memorial next week. I know we're both excited. So just on Tiger, Rich, I have two other things I want to get into, which were really my jumping off points. But I mean, Tiger was the news of the day. What are you expecting out of him? And I know we talked about this briefly earlier because you're into the betting. What do you see as opening odds for him going into next week? So two things. So what are you expecting out of him? What do you expect to see out of him? And what do you think his opening odds are, just for fun?
So my whole thing, like I told you when you're at my house earlier, you have no idea. He hasn't played. I don't think he's played since February, March. You have no freaking clue. There's absolutely no, like, if you want it, like I told you earlier, if you want to take his what's it called? His physical play, his ball striking from the match, which wasn't a real competition, he looked fantastic. He looked great. Absolutely striping the ball. Perfect Tiger swing. But we haven't seen him in a month and a half since the tour came back. So as far as like expectations and betting, expectations are I can't even give you a knowledgeable answer. Yeah, no idea, no expectations. Betting wise, I can give you a little bit more. I mean, he is an absolute beast at Jack's course. That he absolutely takes down Muirfield. So I would say he's going to probably be in the top 5 for favorite. Not sure about numbers wise yet. It'll probably come out after Sunday, but he should be in the top 5 for in the favorites. But yeah, like I said, you can't say anything. We have no idea. We don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, it's something interesting for sure. I think people kind of had an idea he was going to play this week. I don't think it was. I mean, I don't think it was a. I mean, you respect for Jack and all that stuff. So, but it is exciting that he was playing. So we'll have some coverage of that next week. Obviously, next week, as I mentioned, is a big RI Amateur week. But we'll find a way to do some PGA Tour coverage, whether we do it on this show, or me and Rich just do a quick Facebook Live from my house or his house or parking lot or something. We'll find a way to do. We'll do some PGA Tour coverage on next week, and me and Rich will figure that out in the coming days. Again, it depends on what our amateur coverage looks like, because that's the number one priority. But certainly a big deal that Tiger is returning. So
let me sneak in something about the Memorial. So I'm looking at this article. It was written by Helen Ross of the PGA Tour.com. So Joe, me and you were talking about how we were going to hold two events at the same course. So what she wrote is that so this week was supposed to be the John Deere Classic. So they changed it and they made it the Workday Charity. So
Correct.
What I'm reading, what they said, what she said that they're going to do is, so typically the greens will run between 11 and 11 and a half to 12, as compared to 13 or 14 during the Memorial. So what they're going to do is that the slower speeds at Murfield produce more potential pin placements, which is according to Helen, is how they're going to make the course different next week. Remember, we were talking about how are we going to hold two tournaments at the same place. That's how they're going to do it. They're going to change the firmness of the greens and the slope of the greens so that the pin placements are that much harder from this week. So I thought I just found that while we were while you were doing your social media stuff. So I thought that was really, really, really cool. And it said, who is it? Rintoul, I think he's the greenskeeper. He said the green speeds to be subtly 2 to 2.5 feet slower on the stimp meter is going to open up a lot of opportunities as far as the pin placement. So definitely look for Memorial Murfield to be playing extremely harder than this week.
Yeah, so that was my second jumping off point that I wanted to get to is the back-to-back tournaments at Murfield Village. As you just touched on, they'll make it harder. I know Golf Channel has reported that after the tournament ends Sunday night, they're literally closing the place down. It's going to stay closed through Monday. Players aren't allowed to go play practice rounds or anything on Monday. And they're going to revamp the course and try to fix some of the divots in the fairways, which is a major concern. They're going to ramp up the greens and all that stuff. So that's going to be interesting. Do you put any stock into the winner this week? Does the winner this week, assuming that he is in fact playing next week, does the winner this week matter next week? Does he even have does it have an advantage? Does it matter? I mean, if it's like somebody like Brooks Koepka makes an amazing comeback, that's different. But just a regular PGA golfer that would normally have an advantage. Given the back-to-back weeks, what do you think?
I'm hoping not, given the fact, like Helen of PGA Tour said, I'm hoping that they're gonna revamp the greens to a whole new different slope on the stimp. So I'm hoping not. Maybe like fairways and stuff like that, but I'm assuming the tees are going to be different. So, I mean, hopefully the only knowledge that these guys have are how the fairways are running, pretty much, on what they want to hit, like stingers or drivers, or they want to, if the irons plug or something like that. So I'm hoping that this revamp on Sunday into Monday and maybe into Tuesday, that it's not a totally different course, but like at least it's a little bit harder than what they played the week before.
Yeah, so that should be interesting. Back-to-back weeks. Jumping to the Facebook comments for 1 second. Mario Martone says Brad Faxon is a better snake oil salesman than he ever was a golfer. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I agree with that. He was a pretty good golfer, but people are mad at him in Rhode Island. People are not thrilled, and I'm almost kind of disappointed that there was no CBS Charity Classic this year, because it would have been an interesting reaction to when they announced Brad Faxon's name, in my opinion.
I know, right?
But
good call.
So yep. That's his opinion. I don't necessarily agree. Brad Faxon was a pretty good golfer in his heyday. He was one of the best putters ever on tour. He doesn't necessarily have the win.
Absolutely.
Doesn't necessarily have the wins to show for it, but he was playing in a tough era as well. So I don't know about that, but people are mad at Brad Faxon. No question about that. And my mother says she wants to check out the Senators at Harbor Lights. Yes, the Senators are returning to Harbor Lights at 7 p.m. on Saturday, and you do not need a reservation. That is different from before. So there's that for the social media, the peanut gallery on social media. The other big PGA Tour news, and this was my last talking point, Rich. So I don't know if you have other things you want to touch on, but feel free to go for it. The other big news earlier this week, which was kind of expected, was the Ryder Cup was postponed. The Ryder Cup will now be played in 2021. The President's Cup will be played in 2022. Rich, right decision, wrong decision? What do you think?
Oh, absolutely, no question about it. You can't hold these tournaments without fans. The fans are the heartbeat of these golf tournaments. To hold those without fans is just like, it'll be just stagnant. It'll be boring. So absolute right call. Like I told you earlier, this is the first time they rechanged the date since 9/11. So it's a pretty big deal. But all in all, absolutely the right move.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I generally, when it comes to sports, because I now, haven't been in sports media for all these years, and when you're in it, you look at it differently, right? When you're in the business or a business associated with it, you look at it differently. Generally, my opinion is, it's your job. You go play the game, right? It's your job to play, and that you go play, fans or no fans. But with the Ryder Cup, I have come around on the fact that it definitely is going to be not the same without fans. For that particular event, the fans make that event. For regular PGA Tour tournaments that we watched today, we've been watching. I don't care about the fans. It's their job. They're getting paid to go play golf, and that's their careers. And as long as it's deemed safe for them to play by, the PGA Tour, the CDC, or whatever entity it is, it's your job to go play. I feel the same way with NBA. I feel the same way with the NHL, and I'm sure I'll feel the same way if and when the NFL eventually starts. It's your job. You go play. I don't care about the fans. It doesn't matter. That's your job. So that's generally how I feel with the Ryder Cup. I feel like they did the right thing. I thought their statements, which we posted on our site, I thought their statements were correct. They acknowledged that no fans is just not reasonable. They also had a number of players threatening to drop out if they didn't play without fans. I know Rory McIlroy was vocal about it. Brooks Koepka was another one that was vocal about it at one point or the other. So I think in this situation, they made the right decision. Again, I'm just one of those guys, just from being in the business. I just kind of, I don't look at games or athletes as well, some of them I do, as a fanboy. So for me, it's just a job, and for them, it's a job. So that's just my opinion on that. But I think they got to wear the Ryder Cup, and it wasn't a big surprise, in my opinion. Rich, can you, last few minutes here, do you want to go through the leaderboard quickly from today in case people missed out? I know it was some high scoring. We saw some interesting golf today. Our main man, Phil Mickelson, didn't have a fun back nine. If you want to just go through the leaderboard quickly, and then maybe do your betting segment. I know you're passionate about betting, and I'd like to have you kind of handle that stuff because I'll say it wrong. So you go forward, then we'll wrap up the show.
Let me do this quick before I fade off into the darkness. I got no light over here. So Colin, yes. My man Colin Morikawa. I'm jumping on his bandwagon this year. He finished 7 under, had a tough bogey on 18, as me and Joe watched at my house. He's sitting at 7 under. Adam Hadwin's at 6. Matsuyama sitting at 5 under, and out of nowhere, where the hell did you come from? Zach Johnson sitting at 5 under as well. Right. So we got Justin Thomas and Pat Perez, Louis Oosthuizen sitting at 4 under. Malinati, he had a tale of 2 rounds. That's the boy, the young kid with the bucket hat. He played a decent round. He fell apart a little bit at the end. He had a couple bogeys after having a scoreless, a bogeyless front 9. Pulse is sitting at Pulse and Patrick Reed sitting at 4 under. Graham McDowell. Let me see what else we got. Kuchar sitting at 3 under. Victor Hovland 3 under. Jason Day 3 under. Schauffele, Duffner 3 under. Keegs at 3 under. Anyways, let me get into my Moneymaker app. I'll run through that real quick for you guys before I fade away. Hold on, come on. All right, so Morikawa is sitting at plus 500. Not too bad. Justin Thomas plus 700. Matsuyama plus 800. Patrick Reed at plus 1,400. That's actually, I think that might be your deal as far as going into the second round. Patrick Reed played awesome today, albeit him putting the ball where he wants to. Just kidding. But yeah, that might be your sneaky second round bet. He played really, really well today. Schauffele sitting at plus 2,000. Victor Hovland at plus 2,500. I'm trying to find out where Matthew Wolf was because that's another one of my boys. Fowler sitting at plus 6,600. He did not have a good back, unfortunately. We were rooting hard for him. Spieth, awful back, sitting at plus 10,000. But yeah, that's about Pat Perez. Sneaky at plus 10,000 as well because he's sitting at plus 4 under. He's only 3 shots off the lead. But I would actually wait to make that bet until Saturday to see how he plays. See how he plays on Friday, and then maybe his Saturday round. Brooks, awful round today. He brought it back today on the back. He's sitting at 12,500. But yeah, Morikawa, my boy, jumping on that bandwagon. I've been on that bandwagon for about 2-3 weeks now. Yeah, that he's sitting at plus 500. Justin Thomas at plus 700, and Matsuyama at plus 800. Before I fade away, I'm like really, really, really dark. I am going to sign off. To everybody that's playing this weekend, be safe. It's supposed to be a little crappy out. Try to dodge the raindrops and have a great weekend. All
right, there he is, fading into darkness. Rich Capali, co-founder of GolfNewsRI. I will be signing off as well. Actually, Rich, real quickly, you have 2 minutes, and you may have already mentioned them, and that's fine. Who is the best? And excuse me if I use the wrong language. You're the betting guy, but real quickly, who is the best underdog bet for somebody for this weekend? And it could be somebody you already mentioned. Real quick.
Oh crap!
Jeopardy
give me 2 seconds. I gotta look. I know. No. Hold on. Bring it up. Maybe Cantlay. Cantlay's sitting at plus 2,000. He had a good back. He had a great back today. You saw that. We were watching it. Yeah. I think Cantlay might be a good sneaky bet if you're going to bet today. Because he was the winner. He was the winner of the Memorial last year. So.
There you have it. Patrick Cantlay is the best underdog bet, according to GolfNewsRI's Rich Capali. As he fades off into blackness, we will fade off as well. Thanks, everyone, for the support. We had a great week, lots of content. We'll have more tomorrow and more over the weekend as things develop and things happen. Again, RIM coverage starts next week, and we're excited for that. We'll have live coverage, video, all kinds of things. So stay tuned for that. Thanks, everyone. I hope all of you enjoy your Thursday, and we will talk to you soon. Goodbye.
Thanks, Joel.